Hey guys, welcome back to another Call of Duty mobile video. Today we have some leaks about Season 7 and Season 8. I know it's way too early to talk about Season 7 and Season 8, but thanks to data miners Umber Gamer and Amin GHX, we do have some leaks, so let's talk about them. First, we're gonna take a look at the new functional weapons that we will see in Season 7 and Season 8. The first functional weapon we have is the Striker 45. Striker 45 is a submachine gun featured in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It has damage multipliers of 1.8 to the head and 1.1 to the chest. That is very impressive for a submachine gun. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It also looks like a UMP, more like a QQ9 in Call of Duty Mobile, but it is just the appearance because the gun behaves way different from what you see. The fire rate of this submachine gun is just 619 rounds per minute. That is really slow for a submachine gun. But what's crazy about it is that in very close range, it can deal a damage of 55 to head, which is insane for a submachine gun. Even some marksmen cannot do that. However, the limb damage is just 19, which means if you shoot legs or arms, it's not going to deal a considerable amount of damage. The base gun comes with 25 rounds, but you can go with 45 rounds and increase the magazine capacity. But the problem is, since you get a low amount of reserved ammo, you cannot go for streaks with this submachine gun. Maybe you can use this in a search and destroy match. This has a time to kill potential of 200 milliseconds, which is great, but since it has very slow fire rate, if you miss any shots, there's a high chance of you dying before the enemy. Another thing to note is that this gun has a very high visual recoil. Also, it comes with very bad iron sights. The ADS time is 200 milliseconds, which is normal for a submachine gun. And most importantly, if you use attachments to get the fastest ADS time, you can ADS in just 130 milliseconds. That is insanely fast. But you know, the recoil is going to be pretty bad with those attachments. One thing you can do is use those attachments and rush. In that way, if you land headshots, you can take out enemies real fast. This submachine gun also comes with Hollowpoint rounds. When you use this Hollowpoint, it completely changes the gun. Now earlier we had 55 damage to the head, now we have 77. Think about it, a submachine gun with 77 damage to head. And in mid-range, the head damage is 55. So this is going to be a crazy gun if you use the Hollowpoint ammo. Also, the limb damage goes noticeably up to 43. And if you use these Hollowpoint rounds, the 3-shot kill range goes up to 32 meters, which is huge for a submachine gun. However, the gun switches from auto to burst if you use the Hollowpoint ammo. And now it will have a fire rate of 513 rounds per minute and 67 milliseconds burst delay. It is still very low compared to other burst weapons we have. So the burst is not going to be that much of a problem. But the real problem is you only get 12 rounds per magazine and 36 rounds reserved. Another benefit of using the Hollowpoint ammo is that the recoil is much more controlled and you also get 1% more movement speed than the default gun. That's all about the Striker 45. Let's move on to the next functional weapon, which is JOKR. People simply call it JOKR. Also known as FGM-148 Javelin, is a guided missile launcher featured in Modern Warfare series and Call of Duty Online. This launcher is portable and it drops a high explosive payload from above. That's right, from above. So it is not going to work like any other launchers we have in Call of Duty Mobile right now. Because all the launchers we have right now, we shoot them directly. Unless of course the thumper is a projectile. But this right here, even if the enemy is behind a wall and you don't clearly see him enough, still you can take out the enemy with this JOKR. What's so funny about it is that in early Modern Warfare games, the fire mode of this launcher is lock on to vehicles or lock on to the area. But in Modern Warfare 2019 and later, we can even lock it to players. Which means you can just guess where a player is, you can lock it, once you lock, you can shoot. But whether the enemy is dying or not, that depends on your luck. Another thing to note is that you cannot use it in very close range. What I mean by close range is about 100 meters, because you are simply becoming a target of your own explosive payload. Now let's move on to the new lethal equipment we will see in multiplayer, and that is going to be the cluster grenade. Cluster grenade is already available in Battle Royale, but we never got it in multiplayer. In Season 7 or Season 8, you are going to get it inside of multiplayer. And here you can see the gameplay with this cluster grenade, and you can see that it will be a little overpowered because everybody will try to use it instead of using a frag grenade, because frag grenade is just one explosive, but this one works the other way around. I'm so excited to see how players will react to these cluster grenades once we get it in the game. We will also get a new operator skill called Tactical Deployment, and this doesn't work like any of other operator skills we have in the game. With this, you can simply control the respawn of your teammates. That's right, you will get choices after death. You can either use the default system respawn point, which is what is normally going to happen even if you don't have the tactical deployment operator skill, but also you can use a respawn point selected by your teammate, which means if a teammate uses this operator skill, you will respawn there. There is also another choice, whereas you can manually choose where you respawn. So this operator skill is going to be really handy in hardpoint matches or even in domination matches, because you need to be close to the objectives to win the match. So a lot of people will try to use this in those game modes. I can expect that. If you are still watching the video, please smash the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, consider subscribing. Also please go and subscribe the Data Miners, GHX and Mayor Gamer. Links are in the description. Let's also take a look at what legendaries we will see in Season 7 and Season 8. Now hopefully the list will be changed. I'm pretty sure we will see a lot more legendaries because we are talking about 2 seasons, but this is what the data miners were able to find as of now. We will get a legendary BY15, a legendary EM2, another legendary RPD, and a M4, which will either be a mythic or a legendary. It is still unclear, just like the Grau 556 in this season. And then we will get another legendary ICR1. There is no way of seeing any of these guns right now, but it is really important to talk about the BY15 because there is a legendary BY15 in the Chinese Call of Duty Mobile, and that is actually a really good one. Years ago, they released this as part of a collaboration. If I'm not mistaken, that was a collaboration with Harley Davidson's. However, this character skin that was in the original draw inside of the Chinese version surprisingly came to the global and the Garena version. I have even seen it recently inside of the Garena version. Now the problem is, are we going to get the same BY15 that is already in the Chinese version? Because if that is going to happen, there is also a chance of getting the Harley Davidsons. So due to these reasons, we don't know whether we are going to get the same BY15 or we are going to get a whole different one, a brand new one. But I wouldn't mind seeing this BY15 in the global version because it is a pretty good one and a really enjoyable legendary. I have also made a couple of videos about this draw when they released it in the Chinese version. At the time I really wanted this BY15 legendary and the Harley Davidsons inside of the global and the Garena version, but it never happened. Maybe we are finally going to get it. Who knows? What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section. Not only that, in addition to these legendaries, we will also get the next prestige weapon, but this time it is a Swordfish. You already know Swordfish Calico. The prestige weapon is going to be based on Calico. So it is a revamped version of Swordfish Calico. As far as I see, people are not so happy about Swordfish being the next prestige weapon. They should add guns that most people use, right? Swordfish is only used by a certain set of people, but you know, they will like it for sure. Are you one of them? Let me know in the comment section. And that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon. Watch my other videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.